Kashmir to Kanyakumari, over 4,000 kilometers in a truck. Nothing great about it, you would say. But what if this journey is done in 6 days, that too in an electric truck? Welcome to Trans India, real people, real emotions, and stay tuned as we get insights into this spectacular journey that set multiple new records. While Eicher had always been confident about its ProX range of trucks, it is always exciting when someone wants to test it in real time and under real conditions. So when Dr. Raman Nayak, the CEO of CVF Media and Chief Executive of Behind the Wheels, pitched the idea of driving from Kashmir to Kanyakumari in the electric ProX, that too in record time, Eicher was sold to the idea at once. What followed was a dream journey, as Dr. Raman calls it, from kava to coffee. The journey culminated at Kanyakumari, and Trans India was covering the event where we interacted with Eicher officials and, of course, Dr. Raman Nayak. The journey culminated at Kanyakumari, and Trans India was covering the event where we interacted with Eicher officials and, of course, Dr. Raman Nayak. But before we get into more insights of the journey, let's hear from Mr. S.S. Gill about Eicher.
It's a real momentous occasion for us since our Eicher new small truck, which is in the all-electric range now, has travelled all the way from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. And we are very proud of that. We will come about that story, but let me very briefly tell you something about ourselves. So we are a joint venture, now close to 18 years, between Volvo Group and Eicher Motors. So Volvo Eicher Commercial Vehicles, or VE Commercial Vehicles as we call it. And this has been an extremely successful joint venture where we have lots of businesses. Let me have a quick glimpse of the same. Yeah, we have 6 businesses here, starting with Eicher Trucks and Buses, which is a large range from small trucks to 55-ton trailers, from small buses, mini buses to intercity buses, coaches. Then Volvo Trucks India, then Volvo Buses India. Then we also have our components plant, Eicher Engineering Components, where we supply components to global majors like Caterpillar, John Deere, Hyster-Yale, and many clients around the globe. Then engine is our strength. So we have been making Volvo Eicher Powertrain, which is the engine plant. We make engines for Volvo Group. So same engines go to 41 countries, where we supply engines to Volvo Trucks, Renault Trucks of France, which is part of Volvo Group, UD Nissan Diesel Trucks, Volvo Penta, Volvo Buses, and of course Eicher Trucks and Buses. So we supply engines around the globe. Then of course we have engine as a strength, so we have created one more business of engines, Eicher Power Solutions, where we sell from 30 kVA to 160 kVA gensets. We also supply engines for crane manufacturers in India, and we also export these now. So these are the 6 businesses. Very quickly, this is the range, and today we are talking about this small baby that has joined our family a couple of months ago, starting with an all-electric truck. So this is our complete range. So customers have helped create this. So customers told us more space. So we created largest cargo space. Customers said it should be comfortable. So we made a large cabin. Drivers can easily, safely, comfortably drive. Then we already are known for mileage ka badshah. Or in diesel trucks and buses, we are number 1 in fuel efficiency, in the mileage, that what we call. Same way in electric trucks, we has the best range efficiency. For the same power, how many kilometers it can go. For the same charging, how many kilometers it can go. And that is what we tested through this event from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, in how much time, in how much distance can it go, how rugged this truck is. And this is, the customers have helped. In fact, I would say all the people, it was not just the engineers of Volvo Eicher commercial vehicles, but all the customers who got involved, and they actually need the applause for actually making this as a brilliant truck. So customers have made it. So best performance, number one safety and comfort, and number one features. I'll give you one example. Telematics, and you should try it. We all have it in our mobile phone. So you can actually see on a mobile phone how easily one can see the truck on the My Eicher app. Not just the truck, but for electric vehicles, and this Mahesh, you should explain in detail, that in our electric vehicles, there is a charging anxiety. What if I am traveling from Kashmir to Kanyakumari is 4,000 kilometers. No truck in the world can run for 4,000 kilometers without charging or without even refueling. So how do you do that? You can get petrol pump, diesel stations everywhere in the country. But how many charging stations are there? So our app shows for Eicher 19,700 charging points in India.
The Eicher ProX is being described by Eicher as a game-changer vehicle, which has been built in collaboration with customers, making sure that all the demands and requirements are taken care of. Abhishek Chaudhary takes us through some of the salient features of the ProX. Here's Abhishek.
We entered into this segment about a few months back as electric, and now we're entering into diesel. But when we entered into electric, the biggest question which customer had in mind, will it run? Will it carry load? Will it reach the distance? Will it be profitable to me? Will I make money? Is it the space? Is the comfort available for me? All kind of questions, anxiety was in the mind of customers. We could have resolved those anxieties and questions in the mind of the customers. But as a manufacturer, if I had done this thing, no one would believe this. Then we had to call who are actual experts. We had to call people who are in this business, who have done this. Because our objective is, when a customer buys a ProX vehicle, the vehicle should help customer prosper more in his business. It will give more profit, more money to his business. That's the objective. And when we covered about these specs, it talks about that only. Longest service interval, comfort, safety, it all gives prosperity to my customer. That is what is needed in today's business. When cost of operations are going day by day, it helps my customer to save money and earn more from his business. This vehicle has been tested with the customers. What we are showing to you, what we are displaying to you, has run with the customer before we came out with the final product. More than 4,000 customers have given a feedback. 10 plus lakh kilometers actual running conditions. Indian roads, Indian conditions, the vehicle has run. The feedback taken, vehicle has been adopted as per those feedbacks, and the final product is here. This vehicle comes with highest cargo volume, 395 CFT, which is required. That means same vehicle can do more trips with efficiency. Longest deck length, 10.8 feet. It's best in the industry. No one has this. Longest service interval. At times is equivalent to some certain cars also. I say more than 9.5 months, the vehicle is not required to come to my workshop. Turning radius. The cars which have made you reach over here, they have lesser turning radius than this truck. My truck can turn in any of the difficult conditions in India. And certified range. As we said earlier, this vehicle is known for mileage ka badshah. Electric truck is known for energy ka badshah. We say it's energy ka. We maintain that stand. So on tested condition, it gives close to about 250 kilometers range. We are selling in select applications. These are the applications: e-commerce, FMCG, fruits and vegetable, cold chain. This truck is compatible in all the applications. In fact, the vehicle has been made seeing the application and the usage which the customer has. So why are we here? Our thrust is on EV because we started as EV, and there's a lot of push from the government for the EV. They've come up with the FAME scheme, the PLI scheme. Government is pushing for a lot of sustainability goals. Corporates have a lot of sustainability goals, and they want alternate fuels to be adopted. Because if you adopt alternate fuels, the cost of fuel, which is a burden to this country right now, it can go down. But with all said, with all the support which is there, the discussion which we have, EV adoption is on a slow pace. Why so? The biggest concern for a EV user is it reliable? Will it go to a distance? Can it meet the uptime? Is it safe to drive an EV vehicle? Is my battery not going to damage, which is most expensive? All those concerns keep the customers away from an electric vehicle. But as goes for Eicher, we are always there to break the notions, break the thoughts. We come up with something absolutely new. We thought of making electric truck travel a distance of more than 4,000 kilometers, different terrains, different temperatures, different geographies, to make the customer believe that the vehicle is running.
While electric trucks have been seen as the next best alternative to diesel trucks, viability has always been an issue. How do you get the return on investment when the initial truck cost is significantly higher than the conventional truck? We interact with Mr. S.S. Gill, who addresses these concerns and throws light on the need for undertaking this K2K trip. Here's an exclusive interaction with Mr. S.S. Gill. Tell me, what was the need to do this?
Thank you so much, and thank you for being here. It is definitely a testament to the rugged, strong, versatile electric small trucks that Eicher have brought in, the Eicher ProX EV. And that was the reason why we thought of why not run it from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. And it has been running for over 4,000 kilometers and overcoming all the myths which are involved with the electric trucks nowadays in India.
So I think if I would put it, you would say the main reason was to tell your clients that an electric truck can actually cover the entire length of the nation without the anxiety of charging?
Absolutely, that was one of the key objectives which has been achieved as well, and in a record-breaking time. And that's why it was the first electric small truck in the industry which has traveled all the way. And as you can see, we just plotted over 19,700 charging points in the country.
Wow.
And so several so-called mindsets sometimes people would have. Absolutely. If we have to actually travel, you don't bother about a petrol pump or a diesel station, which is there in every nook and corner of the country. Right. But when it comes to charging an electric truck, which would have a typical traffic range of 170 to 180 kilometers, the 40 kilowatt fully loaded truck with air conditioning, that is what it was driven, which is a regularly commercially available truck which we have on the roads for the last couple of months. So that was actually myth breaking. Apart from the fact that you can actually drive in all the terrains, right from where they started from was -2 degrees.
-2, yes.
And going up to 38 degrees positive.
So that's also taken care of the myth again.
Absolutely, and it's possible to do so.
So, sir, while the charging infrastructure is more or less taken care of with your extensive thing, what about the dealer and service network? How is that panning out? Because you have a separate dealer network for the SCV range. Yeah. So how is that shaping up?
Yeah, it's as we mentioned that we already have been expanding extensively in Eicher trucks and buses over the last several years now. Almost every week we add 2 touch points for the service and parts availability for Eicher trucks and buses. So we have a dedicated, we are using a lot of digital solutions also for this, the Eicher ProX series range, apart from dedicated dealerships, exclusive dealerships that we have added on. But we are also using a lot of digital solutions. For example, we have a 24-hour toll-free number dedicated for ProX.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay. Then there are technicians being trained. Very important and interesting factor here is that the software can actually be updated over the air. So it has the photo telematics, quite similar to our own mobile phones or laptops, where we can actually update the software without taking it to any workshop or any other place.
Absolutely.
Apart from that, the regular scheduled maintenance itself needed is very low, which means at 30,000 kilometers interval, which is again an industry first, you actually need to change the oil filter for the differential and the regular checkups, scheduled maintenance checks.
So when we talk of commercial vehicles, topmost on the list these days is your TCO and ROI.
Yes.
How does the ProX EV match those or meet those norms?
Let me be very honest, I mean, even my own personal myths were broken with this. And that's how it was. Because this electric small trucks would cost about 60 to 70% higher than the typical diesel truck in the same category.
Right.
Okay. So to make it viable, there is only one thing which is actually the biggest game changer, which is how much do you run? So there are many applications in the country, and we have specifically identified those and selling only in those applications where it becomes a viable sense. It means if you are clocking 80 kilometers or more a day, you actually break even, because then the asset cost comes back down to just about 25, maximum 30% of your running expenses.
Right.
And diesel, which is still 90 rupees, 92 rupees, 93 rupees a liter.
And not coming down anytime soon.
Yes. Here the electricity, if you do the captive charging at home, at your own hub point, at your, wherever you are parking it, at your parking yard, then of course it would be as low as 6.5 rupees in Delhi to 10-12 rupees in Maharashtra or some other places. And the opportunity charging on the way hovers between 17 rupees to 23 rupees. So when the person is actually running, and we have quite a few number of customers who have been running over 6,000 kilometers a month, which means roughly over 200 kilometers a day. For them, it's cheaper than a diesel.
Absolutely it is.
They save more money in diesel despite higher asset cost.
So do you think now that this product is absolutely settled, you don't need to make any changes to it? We are done and dusted with this?
Yes, it's been more than 3 years. Not just the typical development cycle, the very comprehensive Volvo Group verification and validation cycles that we have. Apart from that, we took 1 more year in the hands of the customers, because the customers themselves had designed and given a lot of inputs during the development phase itself. So as we call it, the co-created with the customers.
Right.
So you don't need to go back here, back and forth. That's the reason why we also have the longest cargo space in the industry, 395 cubic meter, 10.8 feet long deck length. And on top of it, we are known as mileage ka badshah in our diesel range. So it is also the range efficiency ka badshah. And that's what we have proven in this electric truck. And that got even better highlighted when we ran this record-breaking run from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. And actually the kind of range it has delivered and the kind of kilometers per kilowatt hour it has delivered is one of the benchmarks that we could see.
And my reason for asking that particular question was, now that the SCV range is kind of settled with electrifying it, are you moving up now?
Yes, we have already introduced the diesel range in the small commercial vehicles, and we will be coming up with the CNG range also in the small trucks.
What about the EV range?
EV, we already have buses. We have been running buses for, I think this is the 4th year that we have been running
buses are there,
in Chandigarh, in Kerala, in Odisha, in schools, in the Indian Army. Now even the latest introduction that we did is the intercity buses, 13.5 meter sleeper coach electric, which we had already showcased, and now we have started the commercial runs, and you will hear it in the news very soon. So it has started the runs between Delhi and the neighboring townships.
Finally, sir, the commercial vehicle industry has been on the roll for the last few months.
Yeah.
The sales have been going up. Eicher has been doing exceedingly well. How do you see the future shaping up?
It's been a good run post GST 2.0. So overall, the industry on a YTD basis, which means that from April to December, last 9 months of the financial year, that has been at about 11% growth overall. And whereas in VECV, we have been able to grow at 13.6% in that same period. And what we see is a good growth coming from various segments. One is the boost which has been through the GST 2.0,
Right.
where the cost of the asset has come down for especially the retail customers, who were not taking or not able to take the GST set off. So for them, it is actually a good boost. So that is also helping people take a decision to replace the older trucks that they were earlier holding on to.
True.
So replacement demand, e-commerce segment, then there is a lot of construction projects which have coming up.
The tipper segment is again.
Tipper segment is actually saw all-time high of a December.
Yes.
Close to 9,000 heavy trucks in the tipper segment. So that was extremely well and encouraging. Even a lot of mining projects have restarted the full steam. So construction, mining is on the roll, e-commerce is on the roll. With more cars and two-wheelers being sold, you need trucks
The auto
to
carrier
ferry
segment is again,
the
yes.
auto carriers segment also has been booming.
Right.
And it is also a replacement cycle, let's be honest about it. Post-COVID, people still have been quite selective. So it has been a good cycle since maybe 2019 peak onwards, that now it is like 6 or 7 years, that cycle is starting to build up.
Absolutely.
Then more and more schools are actually taking the school buses.
Right.
Earlier, of course, all the metro locations, large cities was there. Today, all the suburban areas, even small towns,
Small towns, they are coming up,
even some of the rural areas, they've started shifting over to school buses where the schools were running. And so that is also changing a lot. Then, of course, the staff buses demand is coming back, because most of the offices are now back from being operational physically, right, from work from home. And they are also due for some replacement cycles out there. So be it trucks, be it buses, be it light and medium duty trucks, be it heavy duty trucks, be it construction tippers, be it tractor trailers. So there has been a good boost, and we also are quite optimistic about it.
Now let's talk to the person who actually did this trip, right from the planning to the execution. And despite all the resistance, he decided to take a loaded truck to the maximum capacity, which would give the actual range of the truck. Here's Dr. Raman Nayak as he takes us through the journey from the land of kava to the land of coffee, from 2 degrees to 32 degrees. Here is what got Raman excited to do this record-breaking feat.
So what happened on 20th December 2024, just 1 month before the Auto Expo, I got a unique opportunity to witness this pre-launch of this electric truck. I went to the factory. I saw the factory was all women line, and it's unfortunately 20-25 kilometers away from my home, because I comes from a Bhopal and the factory is in a Bhopal.
Absolutely.
So apparently one connection was already there with that.
Right.
And then when I test drive the vehicle, I find it like it's something else, because since a long we have been demanding a lot of things in a commercial space. The customers have been crying for the practicality of the cabin space, the comfort, the features and all. But I found the one truck to come up with everything. Just like we make pizza, right? Maybe you don't like a cheese, I like a lot of cheese. Maybe you don't like a bell pepper, I like a lot of bell pepper. So they told me that you can customize it as per your application. Somebody is a dairy farming, right? He has his fixed stops. He don't need a navigation. His route is all decided.
Right.
But an e-commerce player who has every parcel delivered to a new house, new address,
Right.
he needs the navigation.
Absolutely.
Right? So they said, why a dairy farmer will carry a dead weight in the vehicle? Correct?
Absolutely.
So that weight, the product impressed me a lot. Plus the vision impressed me a lot. It was co-created with the customers, as they say. So from that day, I told that they have done a number of testing and all, but this is all internal validations. Why can't we take it for a long journey? Not at that time the K2K was not a frame. Why
Okay.
can't we take it to a long journey with load and let we test it on the open roads, real highways,
Practically how it's going to be used.
Practically how it's going to be used. And since that day, I started figuring out that how we can do it. Then Auto Expo happened, and then after the Auto Expo, I don't know, May, I came up with the idea that why can't we do a Kashmir to Kanyakumari, because that has always been everybody's dream who has
Yes.
been little enthusiastic about the travel and all. So that has always been a dream. So from the highest point, like the highest mountains to the snows, to the sea level, why can't we? So from the kava to coffee, why can't we drive it?
Absolutely.
So that kava to coffee inspired me a lot. So I framed something. I given to the Eicher. Eicher team the first go approved it.
Okay.
Then let's do it. So in December, the final K2K came. We mapped through the My Eicher app. We mapped a lot of charging stations. We understood the India's existing charging infrastructure. I asked them that can I have a little detailed tour of the vehicle. So through the Bhopal dealership itself, because they have the dealerships all over the
Absolutely.
India now. So Bhopal dealership I went, I took the detailed test drive of the vehicle, like 50-60 kilometers. I understood the vehicle and I said ki let's do it now. After that, in the January, I started my journey towards the Srinagar in the 10th, 12th January. And apparently there was a permission constraints because Srinagar is a very sensitive area.
True.
And we specifically wanted to do it from the Lal Chowk only. So we
Okay.
were getting permissions for a very different areas like Dal Lake and like Polo View Market and all. But we insisted that we want to do it from the Lal Chowk itself, because the Lal Chowk has been a significant spot in our history and all and all.
Absolutely.
So we got permission for the 20th and then during this course, it was like, why can't we, like, it was a journey, it's a practical test journey till the time. So during December, the idea formulated that why can't we record it and consider it as a record, because never in the history somebody has attained such big long drive in a commercially pickup.
That too, an
Also-
electric one.
Electric one, and also it was a loaded one.
Right.
So when you were discussing internally, so somebody in the internal team, like my internal team said, that don't take the load. There are a lot of legal restrictions. There are a lot of legal things. Whereas I wanted to do it always a loaded thing, because that's how a customer drives, right?
True.
So I requested them the truck. They provided me the truck, and the rest all it was me. So they insisted me that they want to give a drivers to me. They want to give away a lot of orders. So I said no, I don't want drivers. I have my internal team. We will drive it ourselves. We don't want any professionally trained drivers, because
Correct.
that will
Kill the essence of it.
yeah,
you know?
essence of it, right? That will reduce the essence of it. So we the internal team have driven it from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. We rolled on 20th of January to 8:05 a.m. and then we reached here at 26th of January, Republic Day, on 1:52 p.m.
Okay.
So a lot of tailback traffics was there, and especially in Bangalore, Kolhapur, the highways are being in make. The Kazikund Nanak tunnel was closed for maintenance that time. So a lot of Punjab, there was a lot of fog. So these practical scenarios,
Practical issues, yeah, they
practical
come up.
issues, and then we had been doing that 10 border checkpost in the entire journey. So every checkpost we have to stop, show the load, take the border permit, and then continue our journey. So that way.
Tell me, Raman, since you spoke about check post last, एक ट्रांसपोर्टर्स का बड़ा और ड्राइवर्स का है कि यार चेक पोस्ट पे हैरेसमेंट बहुत है, हमारे को परेशान करते हैं, डिटेन करते हैं. आपके साथ कुछ हुआ है ऐसा?
So, but fortunately, we were not detained actually, but we have been thoroughly investigated. So one special thing happened, that while all our vehicles were having camera to record the journey, so when we were crossing the checkpost in Tamil Nadu, they thought that we are recording them or something is
Oh.
happening. So they detained us actually. So 3.5 hours of the quarrel and language barrier happened and gone into
Oh God,
in the
yes.
midnight. That was at 1 a.m. in the night. So we had to literally let them explain, show all the permissions and everything, that we are doing it to promote EVs, for the better adoption of EVs in a commercial space. Because in passenger vehicles, so we have been seeing the
तो
EVs
देख ही रहे, राइट?
बहुत टाइम से बहुत adoption हो गया है अभी तो, मतलब every next two, और even especially two wheelers में तो बहुत ज़्यादा adoption हो गया है. Every second house has that.
Absolutely.
But commercial EVs, it needs to be little more awareness, and I guess I have pretty much initiated that.
Absolutely. But let me, Raman, you know, considering that you have to drive for the next 6 days, I mean, on paper it sounds very good. यार drive करके जाना है. Planning stage, how meticulous was that?
See, generally the planning was simple. the ProX EV comes with a certified range of 249 kilometers per charge as
Right.
ARI certified. So we left around 20% of the charge because ARI figures are little different from the realistic figures.
yes,
so we
the
were calculating
conditions are
180 to 200 kilometers on a per charge.
Okay.
Out of that, to be on a safer side, we left another 20% of that. So
Okay.
30% another 30 kilometers another we left off. So we mapped the chargers at around 150 kilometers
Okay.
each stop. So with that markings, we also checked the density of the chargers in certain area where we are charging. We ensured that there are a couple of chargers. So if even one or two chargers goes offline, we might have a third one at the place to charge the vehicle. So that's all went into the planning, nothing else. And absolutely, we didn't had any plan B.
Okay.
So no diesel generators, no backup chargers, no hop chargers like thing, and nothing like that. So absolutely, it was a plan where we were all vehicle, us, roads, and the destination awaiting us.
But even from a driving point of view, because when you talk of a vehicle, the most important thing is what is the driver comfort. EV तो है ठीक है. What characteristics you saw in this truck?
गिरीश, क्या होता है कि जब आप मतलब जब टेस्ट ड्राइव में ले रहा था और जब आप उस गाड़ी को चलाते हो तो आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट यू टू ड्राइव इट फॉर अ व्हाइल. व्हाट हैपेंस, यू सिट वेरी हाई, वेरी हाई. So I also drive a truck. So when you sit very high, you command the road.
Absolutely.
So when you sit very high, you command the road. You initially develop a confidence. You are like a leader on the road.
Right.
Even the full-size SUV's roof is completely visible. You look your sideway. All the windows of the cars passing by is below you. They cannot see directly in your eyes.
Right.
Everybody is down. The steering wheel has such a good angle where your hands, generally what you hold it like this, it's a circle in front of you, right?
Right.
Or little tilted. Here's a flat to the ground, almost flat to the ground. The angle is very nice. Your hands weight rest on the steering, so that keeps the steering more stable, and then you use both the hands.
Absolutely.
The driving posture is very good. You sit up straight. The fabric seats help me to stay fresh for a longer period because it is a breathable skin. My skin could breathe because mostly the market competition is offering the Rexine seats, which are not
Right.
very good. Bottle holder was there, so I was always hydrated, keeping my bottle just a hands away, so I can sip on the go. The navigations was immaculate because there was a screen which we put on the navigation of the next charger, and then we were doing that. And then similarly there was AC when we came down south. The heat rose up. We was the AC.
That really helps.
To our surprise, we used the AC in the Punjab region as well because to clear out the fog from the glass
windscreen,
windshield.
yes,
That came out as a surprise because generally the pickup drivers and everybody use the clothes to clean it back to back to back, and then so this added to the safety. So all these things led me to be comfortable in the cabin, and I was fresh as always. So generic human rest like 8 hours sleep I always had.
So can we believe that a driver's life has become more comfortable now?
Definitely, yes. See, now since I go to the market, I talk to the customer, I talk to the driver, I talk to the fleet owners, and I talk to the OEMs as well. So I have a bridge between everyone. Now what happens during all this, I came to know that OEMs, the fleet operator, the owner, the driver, except driver, everyone is focused towards the driver's comfort. If suppose I was not comfortable, I could not have been able to drive it for this long.
Correct.
I had been comfortable. I was comfortable, which is why I could drive it for 16 hours one day. I stretched it almost for 800 kilometers in 24 hours, and that's a big number.
Absolutely.
Right. So it's 100% a comfortable cabin. Industry is moving towards the driver comfort. Everybody is talking about the driver comfort, and it's initially translating. No driver wants to drive an old, outdated vehicle.
Absolutely.
They all wants to drive it in the modern.
Correct. There is no doubt that charging infrastructure has been one of the biggest concerns for transporters when it comes to shifting to electric trucks. While the cost of assets still continues to be the number one concern, Eicher has busted the myth around the charging infrastructure with the successful run between Kashmir and Kanyakumari, that too in record time, thus enforcing that no time was wasted in hunting for charging stations. We hope that this expedition, carried out not by Eicher but by an independent commercial vehicle enthusiast, will bring more confidence amongst the transporters and they will start their calculations once again. We will be back again next week with yet another very interesting interaction. So until next week, stay safe and drive safe. Jai Hind.